Happy Thursday, man. How we doing? You guys staying warm? Because I'm not. It's cold. It's friggin' cold out here in the state of Texas, and really in the southern United States. Josh, I don't imagine it's this cold out there in the Bay Area, but I don't know. What's life like in not sleeting temperatures and having the entire city shut down?
That does not sound fun, man. No, it's pretty much non-seasonal here. It's the same every day. So lose track of what season it is.
Dude, down here, like, any small thing is Armageddon. Like, my buddies were just going to a grocery store yesterday. Nothing on the shelves, bro. You'd have thought there was a hurricane coming in. We're at war or something. No, man, we're getting 2 days of freezing temperatures, man. They shut it all down. I'm sure they're like out of toilet paper too. But like I saw incredible photos of local shelves in the grocery stores. What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? What up, Chris Smith, Goat, Mia Moore? Can you go over the lowest risk props tonight, man? That's usually what we try to do. Ice Storm in College Station. Yeah, Chris, I'm not that far from College Station. Over here in Waco. Matter of fact, the weather down here is so bad, Josh, that the San Antonio game was moved up an hour and a half. So that game's going to lock at 7 Eastern with many of the other games. So this slate tonight is all going to lock at 7:30, then 2.5 hours, and you get the last 2 games. So there's a big old gap. You can get a movie in if you're a late swapper, and just hope for the best, man. What up, Chubb Rock? 5 degrees in Amarillo with snow everywhere. See, Amarillo, I feel like West Texas gets snow like almost regularly every year, right? The Central Texas, Northern, like we maybe get like one a year, but it's not even like noticeable for the most part. Last year, of course, we had that infamous snowstorm, but I feel like West Texas, y'all should not be strangers to this, right? You must have like crazy hot summers, crazy cold winters, just like an old Western, man. What up, Dom Davis? Williams took my money like not hitting boards. Yeah, isn't it weird, Josh, when sometimes players are just like incredible plays for fantasy, but then they miss like last night, Robert Williams per se. And then sometimes it's vice versa, like Russell Westbrook smoking his assists, but kind of irrelevant for fantasy. I mean,
well, it's Robert Williams. He would have got there if Mason Plumlee didn't decide to go for almost 20 rebounds, and then Al Horford gets like 12 or 13 rebounds. So,
yeah,
variance.
What are you gonna do? Underrated World says, love the show, guys. Found the past few days. Gun saw your DK shows years ago. Found you again. Man, I appreciate that, man. Welcome back. Yeah, I was told some people are starting to see us in the recommended stuff on YouTube again, and the subs reflect that, man. So I'm definitely trying to make the most of this recent boom in channel growth and trying to get you guys served with as much content as I can. If you guys missed Luke's video this morning, it's up here. He had some of his early leans for tonight's NBA on PrizePicks. Always trying to collab with other content creators. And then, of course, I made Josh. Josh was just killing it in the Discord all by himself. I'm like, nah, dude. Put him in front of a camera and get the fire out of him. So, what we're going to do. What up, Marty? Anyway, so from where we're at right now, about 2 p.m. Eastern, a little after 1 Central Time, PrizePicks has a somewhat of a board up, but a little while ago, Zach LaVine was downgraded to questionable. And you guys know we like to treat midday questionables as closer to outs than in. And because of this, a lot of the Bulls lines, and by a lot, I mean all of the Bulls lines, are offline right now. So we had, as you might expect with DeRozan on the cover, we had intended for the Bulls to be pretty pivotal talking pieces here, but we can't talk about them until we get some lines here. So hopefully they bless us with some Bulls lines going forward, because it's a little fun to jump on the DeRozan in Toronto narrative and all that good stuff. So I figure with just 6 games and limited lines, maybe we just kind of go game by game and pick up where we can. But most of these games do have a little piece of moving news that kind of leaves us open to interpretation. So, like the Heat and the San Antonio Spurs, again, moved to 7 p.m. Kyle Lowry went through shoot-around. He's been out for personal reasons. Was initially reported as playing, and then was downgraded to game time decision. Jimmy Butler's also, lingering with a tag on him. And then on the Spurs side, DeJounte Murray is uncertain to play. So I guess first and foremost, I'll read us the official blurb via NBC Sports Edge on what the status is for these guys. DeJounte Murray, left wrist sprain, listed as questionable. And then for Miami, we have Lowry at first reported as probable, and then we just got a report that kind of puts some doubt on that. Then Jimmy Butler is, quote, planning to play. So I guess it's safe to expect the Heat to be full strength, but we don't quite know what to do with DeJounte. Obviously, if DeJounte Murray's out, they also have Jakob Poeltl out. Derek White should rise in usage. The matchup wouldn't necessarily be great. A full strength Heat team projects as a great defense. Did you have any inclination or aspiration to get onto this game, or is this a game that you were hoping DeJounte was in? What were you looking for in Spurs and Heat, if anything?
It was pretty much the main game I was crossing off on this list.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of hard to do because it is 6 games, but at least it's 6. I mean, we still have 5 other ones. And especially if DeJounte sits, I mean, that's no Poeltl and no DeJounte. That's a huge part of the offense gone. And it sounds like the Heat might be fully healthy. So, I'm going to pass for now.
Yeah. I told the boys in the Discord, it's so cold in Texas, we had to fly in some heat. Yeah, it didn't go over then either. So, I need a laugh track. God dang it! Well, next time I redesign my. There we go. Got
the bad jokes.
Got the producers in the back laughing. Oh man, I need a laugh sign. Oh man, what up, Alan? Alan says perfect day to stay inside, crush some props, maybe slate or 2. Let's go, man. Lanakila. CP3 points or PRA. I do like getting behind some Suns here. I think the Suns and Hawks would probably give us something to lean towards. And I think Luke was a little bit opposite of what I was thinking last night. So it'd be fun to kind of clash in thought process here. So we'll chop up some Suns and Hawks.
So you think Trey's playing? Is that your under assumption?
You know what happens when you assume.
Yeah.
Let's see what the blurb says. Trae Young is dealing with a right shoulder contusion. He didn't take any contact at Wednesday's practice, but has been getting shots up for 2 straight practices. I think that last game he was trying to warm up before the game too. So I really don't have a lean there.
I mean, he was game time decision last game too, right?
Exactly.
Against the Raptors, and he played. So
yeah. Wait, no, did he play? I don't think he played.
Oh no, was he ruled out? I can't.
Yeah,
no, I have it flipped. Yeah,
I think he warmed up and didn't play. So, I guess we wouldn't really have much to go off of there. 4-point spread here in favor of the Suns. So what we do have is a pretty decent total to target, 226 in context of a 6-game slate. Certainly be one of the more desirable spots for fantasy and if for hashtag team over the over gang. I don't know. We got to market that. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton probably all expected to play here. Ayton has been off and on the official blurb on DeAndre here. If we pull up Phoenix, he is probable. So Jay Crowder also probable. If we have the big 3 in, Marcus Henderson with the sub, man, I appreciate that. We have the big 3 in. We expect Devin Booker to still lead the trio in usage. Probably the main guy at 30%, but Chris Paul has been on a tear for assist as well. So let's put Devin Booker in the mix, Chris Paul in the mix, DeAndre Ayton in the mix, and get a couple numbers back. And the best number for me is 40% assist rate on Chris Paul. Devin Booker is at a 30% usage rate, and DeAndre Ayton is at 21% usage with over a 1.1 fantasy point per minute. So I think the two numbers are really the one number that I'm most enamored with is Chris Paul assists. Do we have a decent line on Chris Paul? Matter of fact, let's just put all the Suns on the board here. Chris Paul has holy crap at 12. 12 assists for Chris Paul is definitely high, but I tell you what, he might be the only player in the league that I'm behind it. And I think what's most alluring about Chris Paul's line right now, if you guys haven't been following the Suns, Cameron Payne and Landry Shamet are both out, and in the absence of Cameron Payne, Chris Paul was out here playing close to 40 minutes a game in competitive basketball, and Landry Shamet, one of the guys that could get involved in that guard rotation, 39, 40, 37, 37, 40. So if you're going to have a 40% assist rate with a lot of implied possessions here, 12 is still attackable. I would like it to be a little bit lower, but yeah, I still got big minutes on Chris Paul. They haven't really shown any desire to get Elfrid Payton involved in a big minute run. So Chris Paul should be expected to play deep minutes. If we didn't love the Chris Paul minutes, we might get behind Chris Paul points. 15.5 points. That's something he's cleared pretty easily. And all of his last 5 games. A lot of these games are without DeAndre Ayton. A couple of these games without Bismack Biyombo, Javale McGee as well. And then if we look at the Hawks defense, they're pretty porous everywhere. They have a 113.6 defensive rating, so 113.6 points per 100 possessions. And if we cross-reference that with the Suns' offensive efficiency, the Suns have the 3rd best offensive efficiency. So I could get behind Chris Paul real points. I could justify Chris Paul assists. If you think Trae Young is out and maybe you're worried about a blowout, we talked about it yesterday. Maybe get behind some first half. I know you loved Joel Embiid first half yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I never do first half props.
I literally only do it if I'm like certain it's gonna be a blowout, and we ought to know by now the Sixers love to play down, right?
I mean, every team this season, right?
Yeah, really. Chris Paul 7.5 points first half, 21.5. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of digging Chris Paul points on the full game, and the assists I can still justify, but I don't know if I rush to it. Devin Booker's at 29.5 real points. Certainly viable. Maybe with DeAndre Ayton back, it's less of a lock. Devin Booker let's go 10 games. Devin Booker real points by game log. Last 10 games. Let's put with DeAndre Ayton just to see how big of an impact results-wise it has been. But we know he has a 30% usage rate. So 30, 30, 30, 35, 30, 35. So he's cleared that in his last 3 games with DeAndre Ayton, but still, that's kind of a hefty price tag. Anything from the Suns standing out to you? They're essentially as fully healthy as we've seen them outside of Cameron Payne and Landry Shamet. Do you got any strongest leans on the Suns?
I think I agree with everything you said about Chris Paul. I think a lot hinges on Trae Young. Like you said about this game staying close. I mean, he's gonna have to score 30 plus points. Also, I want him to play because of his defense, right? I want his defense against Chris Paul, because guards have been pretty successful against the Atlanta Hawks because of Chris Paul or Trae Young's defense. So if he does play, on the assumption that Trae Young plays, I would go probably Chris Paul's 32.5 PRA, so I can just encompass,
over it. Yeah. That. What's his his fantasy is 43. He's got a 10 point. Yeah, I think 32.5. I'm with that.
And I could see the rationale by going over on Devin Booker's 29.5. Like I said, the Hawks do their backcourt defense does struggle. They do give up a lot of threes, so just shooting guards, and he's been on a tear. So yeah, I could see that. But I feel most comfortable from the Sun side. I feel most comfortable with Chris Paul's PRA probably.
PRA, yeah. So let me see what I got him in my initial player prop algorithm run. I do like I want Trae Young in this game, really for the Hawks offense too. But like you said, his defense is what we like to attack. Chris Paul, I got Chris Paul at 30, almost 34 PRA, and they have him at 32. So I've got a little bit of a over there. So I could co-sign that. Yeah.
And
Kind of tough.
the last thing, sorry, the last thing is Mikal Bridges has been shooting really lights out and efficient for him. So and he's pretty low at 13.5 points.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go look at shot volume for Bridges. He's one that if we look at this on-off court tool, Bridges has a 14.7% usage on the season with DeAndre Ayton involved in the big three here. So I do worry about potential regression coming his way. But Jay Crowder, somebody I don't expect to be overly involved offensively. Double-digit shot attempts in his last two games. The minutes are nuts right now. 40-plus minutes for him in, four straight games. So he's also benefiting. No Dario Saric. He hasn't played really all year. Nader's been down. Kaminsky hasn't been involved in a while. We're just getting big minutes out of our guards and wings here. So maybe the minutes just give us a big opportunity against a bottom five defense. I could co-sign that. Any like cheap numbers on Bridges that we like? They don't have. Did they have any 3-point props on Bridges? I don't see any. That might have been one to get behind. 3, 5, 4. All right, I can find some points there.
They usually have block and steal for him, but maybe they'll post it later. I don't know. If they do that, I could definitely get on that 1.5 block and steal.
On the Hawks side, they do not have a Trae Young line listed. Kelton Scott with the sub, man. Appreciate that. Welcome to this channel. They do not have a Trae Young line listed, so maybe they as well are anticipating Trae to be out. This would have been one of those spots like if Trae had a near 30 real point projection, and if he played through a shoulder injury, I'd probably flirt with the under, knowing that the Suns can be pretty strong defensively. So if they do release a line, maybe if it's close enough to 30, I'll co-sign the under. If we want to pick on the Suns, they really don't have a big hole in their defense. Points in the paint allowed are pretty low. 3-pointers a game allowed. So without Trae Young, who's the catalyst in this offense, succeeding and not succeeding, 30 real points, 10, 15 assists. I probably don't get to any Hawks action, but did you have anything on the Hawks, or should we move on?
No, but just because I was uncertain about Trae's status, but it sounds like Quinn said he went through shoot around. Sounds like he might play, so I'll have to dive back into that now.
Yeah. I guess if he did play, like I said, I'd be a little keen on some of his unders and hope that his shoulder wasn't 100%. Getting caught up on chat here. Casey Hicks says, what about Ayton under fantasy points? He was limited last game. They played McGee and Bismack. So Ayton, if we go back to the Suns lines here, Ayton's line is 24.5 PRA, 8.5 rebounds, 14.5 real points, and a 32 fantasy score. So what were you thinking under fantasy points against the? Why is the cat is going nuts right now? I got a new green screen up, and he's like trying to make his mark on it, and it's just like
it's his new scratch post too.
Yeah, I mean he's tore. I still got the other green screen up. We're putting that behind Danny's stream setup, and yeah, 28 minutes against Brooklyn, first game back. You'd expect him to grow. Hey, cut that out. You would expect him to grow, but yeah, Biyombo's kind of earned his keep there, and then JaVale McGee's usually good for teams in minutes. If Ayton gets the most court time and overlap between Clint Capella, who's a pretty elite rebounder, I guess I wouldn't talk you off any Ayton unders. It's probably not going to make any of my cards from this far out, but I don't think I wouldn't talk you down from it. Abram Anderson says, what about Cam Johnson today? Cam Johnson becomes a lot more volatile with Jay Crowder back in the mix. When Jay Crowder was out, we were getting over 30 minutes of Cameron Johnson. So unless you were like specifically, standing on some unders, I probably wouldn't get behind too much action on CJ. Emerson's baby gap shirt. Emerson Griffin or somebody else. Ja and Giddy owe me money. Dang. Let's see. Put him under assist. That might have been a mistake. Oh, for CP3. Dang. What else we got? Chat. Yo, shout out to you guys. I got your 6. Quinn, he made it happen. Big checks only. Y'all are awesome. Why did they move the Spurs and Heat game to 7 p.m.? There's a winter storm down here in Texas. I know you Northerners will probably laugh at the thin layer of ice and sleet that are out there, but down here in Texas, man, they make a big deal out of everything. So it's probably more of a public safety issue than anything. Just wanting less people on the roads. So an hour and a half less of dropping temperatures and ice, I guess, is what was behind that. I don't know. I guess it would have been more impactful if it was like a West Coast team losing a couple time zones coming to us. But no matter what, I guess Miami gained an hour, so it's not that bad. Do we like McCall Bridges' PRA today? Says Lorenzo. What up, Lorenzo? So we kind of glossed over it. I think that's probably a strong spot to be at, just because the viability of playing 40 minutes against a bottom 5 defense, 20.5 PRA is something that he's obliterated in his last 3 games. 2 games that he didn't were against Utah. Utah's a little tougher, scrappier on defense, so they haven't been full strength lately. But Minnesota, San Antonio, Brooklyn, if Trae Young plays, those are probably more comparable spots defensively as the Atlanta Hawks here. So 20.5 PRA does seem kind of low. I'll double check with my early run projections for McCall. But man, what is that? 10 points, 5 rebounds, 1 or 2 assists. Maybe you want 14, 15 points, but I have him at 22 PRA. So I do have some meat on the bone for the over. And just like I said, 40 minutes is 40 minutes. So there's plenty of opportunity for that to happen. They said DeRozan assist props went up. So we'll stall for another game, and maybe they'll add some more.
We should do that one last, maybe.
Right. All right, so I guess we'll go to the later games. Take a look at Kings and Golden State. Let's go home. Let's go home. Pause for the call.
Let's go home. Let's go home.
Appreciate y'all.
Man, I appreciate you, underrated world. You're underrated. We're going to get you appropriately rated, and then you'll have to change your name. But one day, you'll be overrated. And then it's over. Let's talk about your Golden State Warriors hosting the Kings here. Kings night 2 of back-to-back. De'Aaron Fox has been out for quite the stretch of games here. Kind of getting to the point where I just automatically assume he's out until he's finally in. Marvin Bagley was out last night again. And we saw a weird rotation from the Kings. We thought, I thought that Rashawn Holmes could finally get a decent look at a porous front court. He didn't get a foul trouble. He only had 1 foul, but only played 1 minute. Damian Jones was the guy that they leaned on the most. Marvin Bagley dealing with a left ankle sprain. De'Aaron Fox dealing with left ankle soreness. Both these guys did not play last night, like I said, and Fox has missed 6 games in a row. So obviously, if those guys are out, we've seen Halliburton thrive. I think him and Harrison Barnes are probably the safest for minutes. I wouldn't really run to play much else on the Kings, although you'd probably start game scripting a couple of scenarios. One, if the Kings are going to play from behind, they're going to need some shooters out there, so Buddy Hield probably gets a little bit more run as a shot chucker. But all this is probably range of outcome situational stuff that we would play in DFS, not so much assume the risk in a parlay setting. The Warriors, coming off a game that they quote-unquote stole without all of their starters, they're looking a little bit more healthy. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Otto Porter, Kevin Looney is the current projected lineup. Otto Porter has a little tag on him. I don't know if it's a serious thing or not. See, Otto Porter's listed as questionable with a foot. So if Otto Porter missed both legs of that last back-to-back, so it wasn't necessarily a full-on rest thing. So maybe it is serious. If Otto can't go, I think it would be more of a boost for Wiggins. And it does stand to reason that Steve Kerr might err on the side of caution, not necessarily needing Otto. So keep an eye on that. Josh, did you have any Warriors leans here? Klay Thompson in the mix with Curry here, and then from a I've been laughing about the reverse All-Star snub for Andrew Wiggins making the All-Star game. Ever since then, for at least for fantasy sake, he's put up a lot of solid games and 34 plus minutes on all of them. Again, all that's kind of attached to some of the wing depth being out. Iguodala, Otto Porter, Draymond Green still out. Nemanja Bjelica's down. Do you have any strong leans here on the Warriors?
Yeah, I always like Clay 3-point shooting at home when they're playing at home, and the Kings give up the most threes to shooting guards. I could easily see him passing the 2.5 threes here. And you can't forget his 37-point quarter against the Kings. What was it, like 7 years ago? That was at Oracle. Maybe get some extra energy or some flashback from that. I don't know, but I like his.
Shut up! You just wanted to mention that. He's a little.
It's one of my favorite
Warriors fan.
Warriors
over here.
moment.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite moments. I watched that game live. It was crazy. I like Wiggins' 4.5 rebounds. Against the bottom rebounding team in the Kings. Mm-hmm. And let's see if I want to see one more game from Steph. I want to see if that was just maybe a response to Kevin Porter kind of pissing him off, or is this kind of like the trend back up in his shooting? So I might just hold off on him. I mean, he historically has always been great against the Kings. So I could easily see him having a good night again. But yeah, I want to see if his shooting trend is in the right direction. And then on the Kings side, I know his minutes are volatile, but Richaun Holmes at 7.5 rebounds. Mm-hmm. I almost took him last night at 8.5 rebounds against the Nets. He cleared that almost in the first half. So even if he plays 20 minutes, I could easily see him getting over 7.5 because the Warriors, since Draymond has been out, are giving up the third most rebounds to centers. So I really like that as a core play for me. And I could see Harrison Barnes, if you want to get over his 15.5 points. He was really dominating usage last night when I was watching that Nets game. It just depends on the game script. So that could be a little risky.
Man, so I don't know what. Maybe chat. Maybe somebody could smarten this up here. What did Richaun Holmes do to not touch the court in the fourth quarter? Because they only had one foul when I looked this morning.
Damian, he was playing well in that fourth quarter. He was getting rebounds and he was getting fouled a lot and making his free throws. So maybe that was it. I don't know.
Looking at the minute rotation last night, Richaun Holmes played full starter run in the first half, then played a chip in the third quarter. Never came back, and Damian Jones essentially played the entire fourth quarter and more than the second half of the third quarter. So I guess what I was leaning on is if that's did he do something stupid and Ty Lue benched him, or was Damian Jones just unstoppable and they're like, we got to stick with it? I'm with you. I want to play some Richaun Holmes. I'd feel better if Marvin Bagley misses again. But I'm at least with you in spirit on wanting to get some Holmes information. Holmes' first half prop is 11.5 fantasy score. So maybe if you're skittish on him, being susceptible to being benched the second half, 11.5 fantasy points in the first half to compensate for half those rebounds you might expect him to get, and he's implied for 4 points. Maybe that's the lean for me. I don't know, man. I'm so scared with this front court. I feel like all year the Kings front court has just been a carousel of get it right and you win. Like Matu, Marvin Bagley, Alex Len, Tristan Thompson, Richaun Holmes, Damian Jones. They just they pulling names from a hat. So maybe I chop. Yeah, maybe I chopped the game in half on Richaun Holmes. But to touch on your Warriors information, I did run Curry, Clay, Wiggins on the court at the same time. not a ton of sample size, and I do think it could be a little skewed because I think Klay Thompson in that first game back was being full on narrative, force feed him. But in the split here, we got 30% usage rate on Klay Thompson, 22% on Steph Curry, about 20% on Andrew Wiggins. All these cats over fantasy point per minute. And then you mentioned Klay Thompson over, 2.5 threes? Looking at Klay Thompson's game log here, 8, 8, 9, 5. So yeah, if he's I think the volume will absolutely be there.
Yeah.
And if he starts splashing him, So I don't mind that. And you mentioned shooting guards were hitting threes at a big clip against Sacramento. Yeah, 3.7, which would be top 5 amount in basketball. So I can co-sign that. And then would you say look out for the Wiggins prop, right? Blocks and steals.
Yeah.
All right, let's get caught up on chat. What up, Dylan? It's a little late. I'm on the Gary Trent train. We were stalling on that game to hopefully get give them some time to give us some numbers on the Bulls. His PRA looks good. He never plays the fourth quarter since that injury. Holmes doesn't play the fourth. If this is true, this is good. I'll go check his last couple games. Holmes, he played the fourth quarter 2 games ago. He fouled out in 25 minutes. And then on the 29th, Holmes played the whole fourth quarter. So against the Sixers, he played the entire fourth quarter. So I don't know, man. I think that's probably not true. But last night he didn't play the fourth quarter, so I don't know. Maybe we chop that game in half for him. He hasn't played more than 30 minutes in like 20 games. Yeah, it's usually like tied to foul trouble, but he played like 28 minutes. Rashawn Holmes? The 30 minutes has definitely not been a thing, but 31 minutes against Philly, and he fouled out. Or no, he didn't foul out. And then 26 minutes against the Knicks, and he had 5 fouls. I'm with you on not trusting for 30 minutes, but I still think he's productive enough that if he were to get 28 minutes against a depleted front court that has no Draymond, I could get behind that. I don't think Barnes played in the fourth quarter either. Why did I say it like that? Barnes did not play in the fourth quarter either. There was a weird closing lineup. Davion Mitchell closed. Tyrese Halliburton played most of the second half. Mo Harkless, you got to have him out there. He played the entire fourth quarter. Then it was Damian Jones and Chimezie Metu. So,
I think it was game script. I think it was just the way they were playing. That unit was just really dominating, and the Nets and then the Nets, they were pulling away from them, and so I think that was probably it.
Yeah, that's fair. Do we have any Bulls lines up yet, or do we stall?
Yeah. They got the full
plate out here. Let's go. All right, let's back that thing up. I don't know. I don't know. I was going with that. Bulls at Raptors. 222 total. We got Zach LaVine midday questionable. We got DeMar DeRozan going back to Toronto. That's always fun. I think Toronto opened up the stadium again to fans, so that would have been ultra ironic for DeRozan to go back to no fans again. But I'm pretty sure the fans were unlocked on February 1st. So, Chad, maybe one of you guys can confirm that or not. But I think Raj said that they were unlocked. And then on the Raptors side, we fully expect everyone to play, and all of their starters like to play 38, 40 minutes because Nick Nurse, he ain't about that rotational life. So DeMar DeRozan, first and foremost, we put him here on the cover. Let's start with the Bulls lines and kind of go from there. DeRozan's point prop is at 26.5. That's his literal season average. Obviously, without Zach LaVine, and we know Lonzo Ball's out, we might see that much more ball handling for him here. Do you have a favorite DeMar DeRozan prop? I think they moved this assist prop from what you had earlier. They got him at 6 now. I feel like I saw him at 5, 5.5.
He was at 5.5.
5.5. Okay. Do you have any favorite lanes here on DeRozan?
I would just probably points. I guess so let's play 2 different scenarios. Let's play if LaVine plays, I could get on maybe his assists. But if LaVine doesn't play, I would probably just stick with his points. And then my second favorite would be Io's
assist.
Either PRA or assist. They didn't have his assist on earlier, and they just put it on at 4.5.
Okay.
This guy, I really like him. He's like a energy player. Billy Donovan said it reminds him of like Joakim Noah. It was just like unlimited stamina. Like he can play unlimited minutes at the same pace, and he's becoming the floor general. Like he is really like passing at a high clip, and just like getting open shots for guys. And only thing I'd be worried about with his assist prop is if Levine is out, that could reduce his assist rate because a lot of his assists that he's getting has been going to Levine. So that would be something to consider. So maybe I would get on his PRA if Levine was ruled out. But, I mean, over the last 10 games, he's averaging about 23 PRA. And they have him at 18. So that's a nice little margin there. So, yeah, I'm liking his PRA a lot. And, yeah, so probably the points for DeRozan and then PRA or assists for Io.
So I ran Io and DeRozan on, Lonzo Caruso off. Io's numbers are a little lower than I would like them to be. 15% assist rate and a 12% usage rate. Maybe if we yoink Levine one more time, and you know some of this has Kobe White involved as well. When I do take off Levine, Io goes up a little bit, 12.5 usage to 17% assist rate. So metrically, I don't like have the warmer fuzzies, but the eye test alone in the last couple games is showing us that Io's definitely been more involved. So I'm already not getting a ton of sample size here, but maybe if I isolate this to the start of January, maybe I get some better numbers. You know, players grow in their roles. So Io and DeRozan on. Io's assist number does go up to 18.6% in this split, so that does help me feel a little bit better, getting close to 20. DeRozan's at a 26% assist rate in this split with a 35% usage rate. And then Vucevic, 26% usage with a $1.25 as his fantasy point per minute production. So, yeah, I don't mind that. I was looking earlier, and I saw that Io's assist prop was one of the most bet props so far today. So this line will probably, if it moves, it's going to go higher. So I don't know, maybe attack it, but I could see it going to 5.5 if Levine.
Wait, was that pre-Levine news or post-Levine news?
I'm pretty sure it was pre. I posted it earlier in chat. One of the guys I follow on Twitter. As a matter of fact, I can go get that and reference what the top bet stuff was. I had to scroll through all the suicide jokes in the Discord this morning. Here we go. So the most bet props provided by DraftKings Sportsbook today is Gary Trent over 18.5 real points. Dosunmu over 4.5 assists. Van Vliet over 6.5 assists. Dosunmu under 4.5 assists. So that's two of the top four most bet props. And then DeRozan over 36.5 PRA is top five there. So maybe the line doesn't move since there's enough weight on both ends of the seesaw to maybe just keep that line where it's at. So DeRozan PRA, if we're a little bit skittish on the real points here, his PRA is at 38.5. On what I just read, in terms of what was being bet, I think that line was at 36.5. So that there's a 2-point gap between what was a popular bet, which was over 36.5, and they're selling us 38.5. So that's important to know that's a little bit higher than what was implied earlier as one of the most popular bets. So something to watch. But let's talk about the other side here. The Raptors, Gary Trent Jr., somebody that was just brought up in chat a minute ago. Gary Trent's on an epic run here, and you know every time I bring this up, I sound like a hater. I'm not a hater. I just want to put context here because I feel like the content market for props is very game loggy and no context. So against Miami, and I like sure it's fun to be that way. What I will say, Gary Trent, no matter what, you probably expect half of his shots to be from behind the arc and probably get double-digit shots. He's on a ridiculous stretch of 20 shots a game. Miami was a team that funnels points to the three ball. And I think we're going to be able to paint the same picture with Toronto. But one of these days, Gary Trent's not going to score 30 real points. and they're going to be like, "Go, why didn't you tell me?" But Miami was a funnel defense to the three ball. Atlanta is Atlanta. They're poorest defense. The other Miami game was triple overtime, and then Chicago, Charlotte, no Fred VanVleet. So just one of these days when the matchup's a little better for the front court, where Barnes and Siakam can offset there, Gary Trent's going to score like 20 points or something like that. But no matter what, he's going to chuck a lot of threes here. And the Toronto Raptors are kind of like the Heat in the sense that if you look at their points in the paint allowed when they're healthy, I think they're one of the best interior defenses in basketball. They're bottom 10 in points in the paint as is. And you just think about all the stretches that they've had where some of their big guys have been down, with Siakam, Scotty Barnes, guys like that. So I definitely think it could be a tougher matchup to get points off in the front court. I got this backwards, right? Chicago. I need this bang to kick in. Chicago, 3-pointers allowed. We like this spot, and we like it even more with no Caruso, no Lonzo Ball, right? So the line for Gary Trent 3-point props starts at 3.5, likely implied to 10 attempts, right? So he's got to shoot 40%. Has cleared this every game of his last 5, taken out triple overtime, a couple games without VanVleet. Are we just thinking there's too much meat on the bone at 3.5?
Over the hot streak, I mean, what is his 3-point attempts at? I saw one game he had
a 10 plus. Like every game he's chucking.
Yeah, I mean,
and half his shots are going to be beyond the perimeter.
He can't sustain that. I mean, you're going to piss off all your teammates.
Man. Nah. I think VanVleet's fading him. I do, like I said, there's reasonable. There's reason to suspect regression on these real points. He's not going to average 30 real points a game. And I've been trying to put context to it. There was a couple games without VanVleet. There was a triple overtime. Atlanta sucks on defense. Miami is a funnel defense. You know what I mean? Like the matchup was positive, but 3.5, where I think 10 plus shot attempts no matter what via the long ball is going to be there. And then with the Bulls being more depleted on defense with no Caruso, no Lonzo, potentially no Levine now. So like Kobe White on defense, like the matchup doesn't get worse. So I can get behind the Gary Trent over 3.5 threes, and over 18.5 real points is one of the most bet props. Actually, the most bet prop today. PrizePicks has them at 20 real points now. So the line's been moving dramatically. And I don't know that 3.5 has moved at all. So if you believe that these 20 to 30 real points are still coming, I think 3.5 would kind of be the safe way to access it. I don't know, man. You're confident? Yeah, you don't sound super confident.
Oh, I mean, are you ever confident when you're pulling a slot machine that's hitting? Like, it's gonna miss eventually, right? So I mean, just keep pulling the slot. Hope it keeps hitting.
Yeah. Yo, Mickey, man, appreciate that sub. Welcome to the channel. Gary Trent, DKP by Game Log with Fred VanVleet, last 10 games. My boy E made it happen, says, man, can we talk about Dinwiddie last night? Making me literally, bro, there was never a doubt. What do y'all mean? Dinwiddie over 12.5 was the freeze.
You know that last second free throw? It was like 0.8 seconds on the clock.
Oh, my God. I almost hit y'all with our father, but I was like, should I?
Hey, we're gonna talk about the Clippers game before we go.
Yeah. Matter of fact, where are we at on time? 146. We got a little bit of time. I can go over a little bit because there's only 6 games for the DFS show.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But anyway, last 10 games, Gary Trent with Fred VanVleet. Shot attempts are at 20, 22, 28, 15, 12, 12, 17. So, like I said, it's reasonable to expect some regression. But those shot attempts are still largely via the 3-ball, 11, 7, 8, 10, even when his overall shot attempts are going down. So I think the bulk of his shot attempts will still be from behind the arc. But 3.5 is getting up there eventually here. Thoughts on AD tonight? We're gonna get into that game. Dinwiddie's been doing that these last couple games, and the thing is, Dinwiddie's shot volume, guys. Dinwiddie. The shots were there, and he's not even chucking threes, right? It's not like he's taking 10 threes and missing 7. I think he only took like 3 or 4 threes yesterday and only made 1, and the rest of his shots were just like missed mid-range and layups, dog. It was so annoying. What are we gonna do? 100% doubt, bro. No, never a doubt in Dinwiddie, bro. We knew. We never doubted him. Anyway, we'll talk about this last game. I do need to do one quick drop here. RunDFS.com. If you guys want to get in our premium Discord, be part of the pre-lock voice chats right on here. Also, centric focused on what the F is that? Focusing on FanDuel, DraftKings, all that good stuff. Hang out with the crew, man. Talk shop with us 2 hours before the first game tips every day, a little bit over every night. I have projections for DFS, DraftKings, FanDuel, PrizePicks, PRA, player props, all that good stuff. And it's a good way to kind of tail. And Josh is doing an incredible job leading the charge. Quinn has been pitching in. I love the crew that is prop hunting. Every night there's some sick screenshots over there. Luke hit his 4 for 4 for 750 last night. The night before, you've been putting some commas in your profit column in the last week or so. And Fish Fan, he's crushing it. So very slowly, it really feels like PrizePicks is gonna start taking over my my DFS content, because people are liking the sweat over there. Like for DFS last night, we were out here talking about Eric Pascal and I don't know, Zeke Naji, right? That's not fun. So I don't know, PrizePicks might be onto something here. But if you guys want to be part of that, go to RunDFS.com, get your signed up. I doubt you're watching and you're not on PrizePicks, but if you are and you want to get on PrizePicks, they show me some love if you use my code when you sign up. Code Gundacker, and they'll also double your first deposit up to $100. Main event tonight: Lakers and the Clippers. Lakers traveling all the way to the crypto arena to face the Clippers. Looks like we should expect LeBron to be out again, right? It should be more the same as last night. Is that the expectation for you? I'm looking at.
I thought I saw something about they're still gonna wait and see game time. No.
All right. So you think maybe they switched LeBron in and AD out or something like that?
I don't. Yeah.
Says LeBron.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that, like what they're gonna do with that situation.
So, according to Shams, it says LeBron left knee will miss Wednesday's game against the Blazers, and he could miss more time. So it could be worse than the perception. And then AD, I guess we expect AD in, but he did sit that second half of a back-to-back when it was Philly to Charlotte. But he hurt his wrist the night before, and I don't know if that was, babying him back in because he just came back or not. So I think I'm leaning LeBron out. And that would give me Westy and AD again.
Just locking Westbrook's assists again. That was easy yesterday, right?
Yeah, very easy. I don't know why y'all made me go to a place where I didn't need to be.
Oh, that was one of my top props. I was just messing with you.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess to affirm the chat on why we would like Westbrook assist prop here. He has like a 40+% assist rate with AD on the court, with LeBron not on the court, and give you guys a visual here. LeBron off the court, AD on, Westbrook on. It is so cold. It's coming through this window right here. My feet are cold. 42% assist rate since the beginning of January, and then of course if we elongate on that to the beginning of the season, we'll get a couple more minutes, but the assist rate largely stays the same, over 40%. So having an assist prop of under 10 in this split seems awfully low. 8.5. Yeah, I would get behind that. Would you grade this as one of your favorite as long as AD is in? Like, as long as AD is in and LeBron is out, this seems easy. And they got Malik Monk back in the mix last night. Not that he made a lot of shots, but they got him back.
Yeah, right. It'd be a core play for sure.
I'm in agreement with that. Josh says the Levert slot machine paid out last night. His success came because Isaiah Jackson failed. And freaking Terry Taylor, right? There's another reason why maybe PrizePicks is going to outshine DFS pretty soon. Guys, we're at over 100 viewers, only 26 likes, man. If you guys do me super solid, hit that like button on your way out for the free content, good vibes. Danger, the safety dog, says Jeremy Grant with no K tonight. Did I miss that? Because I don't think I had that, unless that was just dropped on me. Did you see that? Because I didn't see that. Detroit. Cade Cunningham questionable. Right hip pointers being deemed questionable, and that was okay. Let me see if something else just dropped. I have him questionable, but I guess it's not unreasonable to suspect that he might be out. I'm gonna double check Underdog, make sure that nothing. Hernan Gomez rolled out, Garrett Temple rolled out, blah blah blah. Sterling, Kristaps, Furkan, Seth. I just have him questionable right now. Westbrook's at 9 assists now. I still like the over, but we're moving lines, baby. What do you think about Bridges PRA over? I think we're on that. Was that the one that was at 20? Yeah, 40 minutes against the Hawks. I'd chip in a chair that. Thoughts on Isaiah Stewart over 7.5 boards. Man, Jeremy Grant's back. They still have Kelly Olynyk. Cat might bring him out of the paint a little bit more unless Jeremy Grant covers Cat more. It's probably not something I'd want to attach to a parlay. You know what I mean? Like a 4 or 5 pick. I don't know. You got a stronger level of confidence on Isaiah Stewart than me.
I mean, I kind of get it because the Timberwolves are giving up some boards to centers, but that's risky for me. But I wanted to touch on it. If AD plays, another core play for me I would lock in would be 9.5 rebounds because we love picking on the Clippers for rebounding. They pretty much give up the most rebounds to every position, a lot, especially to point guard too. So if you want to get on Westbrook's rebounding, if AD is out, you could switch over to Westbrook's rebound prop instead of his assist prop.
Yeah. Email Hab says, assuming he plays, my lock of the day is Jimmy G assist over 5.5. I guess I don't hate the thought of Jimmy Butler's assist being there, but the return of Kyle Lowry, I guess maybe could play spoiler here, but just for the heck of it, let's double check Lowry and Butler on the court together just to kind of see. But yeah, that's one of those game logs might get us in trouble if we let it. Lowry has Lowry 27%. Yeah, I guess the assist rate's still pretty even between Butler and Lowry, so it's not crazy. I guess we would also maybe put Adebayo on the floor for this split as well, just to kind of see if there's any big jumps. Jimmy Butler 20% assist rate, Lowry 27, Adebayo 13. So Butler does drop to 20% with Adebayo and Lowry on the court in 523 possessions of sample size. So I'd be a little trepidatious on that. Let's go. Jimmy Butler assists by game log with Kyle Lowry last 10 games. But I guess this doesn't really tell the full story because Adebayo was out for a large stretch. So he hit the over 5.5 in his last 2 games with Lowry, but it's hit the under in 8 of the last 10 before that. So it would be probably a bet that for me would be heavily contingent on Kyle Lowry's presence or lack thereof, which he was probable, and then they put him back as a game-time decision, right? J. Cole says LeBron's probably going to be out to the All-Star break. That makes a lot of sense. I can see him trying to extend, but there's still like 2 weeks until the break, right? Wiggins PRA 24.5. If Otto Porter was down, I'd feel more confident, right? But Wiggins has been very, very active and playing a lot of minutes. So I guess the pushback here is the Warriors do have a sizable spread, right? 13.5. So that game's liable to be over in the fourth quarter, and then we kind of have to guess on whether or not it's the garbage crew mopping up. All right, I think that's going to do it. We got to get into the DFS show in about 5-6 minutes. So, chat, if you guys want to re-dive into these games with me, I'm going to be live again. And I'll still tackle some PrizePicks stuff. I think Raj is going to hop on with me. We'll have a little bit of fun. Any lasting notes, Josh, we didn't squeeze in there that you...
Yeah, I'll just squeeze in real quick. On the other side, the Clippers, I really like Coffee. He's been, jacking up a lot of threes and scoring. He's only a 12.5 point prop. I like that. And then Reggie Jackson, I like his point prop as well.
16.5 against the Lakers. Very doable. Very doable. All right, chat, that's going to do it for us, man. Be back in just a couple minutes with the DFS show. But we'll still be talking PrizePicks, man. Twitter.com/Gundacker. Get you some Super Bowl squares. I've only got like half of them left. They're selling out really quick, man. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money. Peace.